Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is file types. In Illustrator, we're generally going to be saving our files in two different file types. One as a native Illustrator file, so that we can go back and rework and change whatever we've done, keep our layers separate, edit our paths. And then in order to share our work, we're going to save our images as JPEGs. JPEG is a very common file format that you can view through a web browser, often through email clients. And I'd just like to quickly show you how to save an Illustrator file, which you've done already, and then how to save a JPEG, which you've done already. And then I'm going to stop the recording, and then we'll talk about what we do with those different file types in the next recording. Okay, so let's just say we have a, do I have anything here? We have a drawing we made that we like so much, it's, something we spent a lot of time working on, and we want to keep it, right? So here's our beautiful drawing. We might want to work on it later. Maybe it's not perfect yet, right? So we want to save it in a format where we can edit it later. Yeah. That's our Illustrator file format. We go to Save As. The first time you hit Save, it's actually giving you the Save As command anyway. Just go to Save As. And I'm going to call this face yellow. And make sure you know where you save this. You should have a thumb drive plugged into the back of your computer. If you have a thumb drive or some other drive plugged into your computer, you could have a larger drive that will give you, I want to show you the icons. It'll give you a slightly different disk icon here in the Save As window, dialog box actually. But if you look on the left here, you should see your thumb drive as a white icon, or if you have an external hard drive, it's an orange or yellowish orange icon. So you select where you're saving this. Please make a new folder and call this Illustrator class. You can even make subfolders for each project. Okay? So I'm going to save this on my disk in my Illustrator class folder that I just made. I'm going to hit Save. It's going to give me a little dialog box here asking for different compatibility options and whatnot. Default is fine. You just hit OK on this. Okay? Really, we're not worried about this right now. We'll talk about these options later. Hit OK. Now let's say I want to share this with somebody. Right? That file is now for me to reopen in Illustrator anytime. If the person I want to show this file to does not have Adobe Illustrator, I need to save it as a more common file format. As I said, the common file format we're using is JPEG. Now, actually I haven't used this option yet in CS6, but I just wanted to bring you to a little more complicated dialog box that gives you some options for how you create your JPEG image. And in order to get these options, last class I think we went to maybe export. It was sort of said make it a JPEG, whatever, default options. If you do save for web, you get this dialog box that opens, which gives you a lot of different options. You can select different file types right here. Right now I have it as a GIF file type. We can talk about GIFs. They have specific features such as transparency, which is very useful to know about. And also they can be animated. We can talk about that too. But right now I want to talk about using the JPEG format. So you go to JPEG format. Notice that my background changed to white, right? I have a white background in this. Right down here, it gives me my file size. And I'm sorry, my image size in pixels. And honestly, when you're sending somebody a JPEG, 1,000 pixels in any dimension is fine, because when you're sending somebody a JPEG, it's for viewing on screen, right? If somebody wants to make a print, you send them an Illustrator file, and if they're serious about printing, they know how to open it. So, as I said, you can change your longest dimension to 1,000 pixels. And that will hopefully, if you look down here in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see your file size, the resulting file size for this export. And right now it's pretty small, 25K, 25 kilobytes, right? That's very transmittable over the internet because it's a small file. So what do after we sort of check our file size, both in memory and pixels? We just hit OK. We hit save over here. And it will, that was 22 for a second, hold on. That should be, there we go. I'm gonna find my file, my folder for Illustrator class, go ahead and put it in there too. And now if I look in Finder, right, in my Illustrator class, here I have two files. One is actually significantly larger, right? The Illustrator file here, notice it's 1 megabyte, and here we have something that's 50K. I'm surprised that's different than what this showed down there, right? Anyway, it's much smaller. And you can preview it, the JPEG or an Illustrator file here with Quick View. Does everybody know about Quick View? It's a tangent, sorry. On Macintosh computers, you just select something, any file, in Finder. Finder's like Windows Explorer. And then you press the space bar and you get a quick view. It's a nice way to just sort of pop open files. Okay? So those are the two file types you want to know about this semester.